If you have friends who are with you when you are victimized, you have to work together to end the threat. Want to take your knowledge beyond the narrated videos? Join us on Active Self-Protection Extra and subscribe for multiple videos every week to help you get better in your defensive skills. Hi everyone, this is John with today's Active Self-Protection lesson out of Van Nuys, California in the United States. Let's watch as a group of hairdressers are trying to fight off a man who attacks them for no reason, and then we'll come back and learn some lessons. Our perp is coming from the left here. You can see he's got something hid behind him, and he's just going to start attacking these women in this nail salon with no good reason. If you go read the news story in the description, he's actually the suspect in a carjacking earlier in the morning, and then he comes into this nail salon and just starts attacking these three women, one of whom ran off to go get help, and the other two just stay in here and are going to go after this guy, and it turns into what looks like a WWE Royal Rumble cage match, as these two women are working to try to get this guy to quit, to get him on the ground. And you see the woman there in the blue shirt is trying to take him down. The other one's using a chair, and he kind of runs off for a minute there, which is a good thing, but then he doesn't keep going that way, comes on back, and now the fight is still on. And as she kind of tells him to get the heck away, finally the other one comes back with a chair that gets cut in half there, and they're going to beat the tar out of him with it and go to work with it. And finally from the left, some guys are going to come in, hold him for the cops. Boy, that one was pretty chaotic. I have a question for you out of this one. Would you step in if that wasn't your fight, or would you have just been a bystander and called the police? Let me know what you think you would do in the poll. I'm interested to see how many of our fans would step in. We're going to learn some significant lessons out of this one, including talking about the bystander effect and when you want to step in to help others. Number two, about grappling skills in particular and knowing how to control someone and how difficult that can be. And number three, we want to talk about partner tactics and working together to end the threat. So as this one begins, these ladies are just going through their day, and as he's coming back, you notice he's got something hidden behind his back here. He is, in a place just looking to ambush him. And friends, this is just the definition of a sociopath. We don't know why he attacked, and sometimes there isn't an explanation, but you got to be ready to flip the switch and defend yourself. And you see that first punch comes the first lady's way, and I don't think the second lady could have done anything about that, but she's going to have about a second and a half from the time that she sees that to when the attack is going to come her way. So that's why emotional fitness is so important. The ability to say, I'm going to defend myself right now if he comes my way. And so when he does, she's got to do more than just cower in the corner. And this is where your empty-handed skills and getting on the mat and knowing what violence is like so that you can take decisive action is so important. Now, certainly as part of those empty-handed skills, you got to have some grappling skills, some fighting at close distance, because hand fights like this aren't accomplished at long range. They're right up next to one another. And I see again and again that they start in a grappling or get to a grappling position. And we can see that here with this lady who obviously doesn't have advanced wrestling. She stuck her head right between his legs and she's trying to get his legs and get him down. And if she just popped her head out of there and put it to either the left or the right, she could have got a double leg takedown if she had that kind of training. And that's why grappling training is so important to all self-defenders. She's not able to finish it. She's just not going to be able to do so simply because of the lack of skill. Next, we want to talk about working together as a team, because there are two women here, and if they're talking to one another, going up, down, or knowing who's doing what, I got him here, go get something to get him, they can work together, and it's very hard to work not just against two people individually, but against two people working as a team. And again, work that stuff on the mat so you know how to communicate with each other, and you know the kind of things that you can say that will help you to overcome in this kind of an instance. Now, they do a pretty good job here, working together as a team and using the tools that they have available, including environmental weapons. And then these guys show up from the store next door because the other woman went and got them, and they're going to decide to step in. Now, you got to talk about the bystander effect and whether you're willing to step in. And I'm very grateful that these guys did, and they were able to hold this guy down, and that's a very good thing. Now, I do know that somebody's going to ask, well, could I have shot this guy in this instance? Well, this is Van Nuys, California. CCW permits are very rare, but in your locality, could you? Well, you always got to ask the question, is there ability, opportunity, and jeopardy here? Is there an imminent, is objective reasonable evidence for an imminent or immediate deadly threat? You know, as a grown man, as somebody who is the same size as this guy, you'd have a hard time articulating that. Now you might say, well, as a third party, you know, the defense of others, that one of these women, because this guy is bigger, stronger, faster, and they're women, that they could say that they could fear for their life in this instance. And that might be possible, but it's going to be difficult to articulate, especially again, as one of these guys coming in with you know, a preclusion issue if he had other options available other than shooting him. So my suggestion is make sure your empty-handed skills are up to par. Make sure if you want to carry a force multiplier that it has a less lethal one like a pepper spray to try to get this guy off of you. And make sure that your skills at partner tactics are up to par to cover your asp.